There's someone in your life right now who is ready to acknowledge a deep spiritual connection between the two of you. It feels like this person was kind of on the fence as far as if the signs and synchronicities that they were getting relating to you, if these were real or just a product of like wishful thinking. This person may be familiar with like law of attraction, manifestation, and so this is somebody that's been very actively and deliberately trying to call in a high vibrational partnership on all levels. This person has been doing their part to become that vibrational match for the experience that they're wanting to have with another person. And you've come into their life and you fit that kind of picture or that idea of what that kind of like perfect partner would be. So this feels like somebody that you've either been dating for a while, you've been talking to for a while, you've been getting to know. There's some kind of connection between the two of you, of a romantic nature. This isn't just somebody that's been like keeping their feelings hidden, but this is somebody that is kind of like, okay, I'm not just feeling love. I'm not just feeling affection. I'm not just feeling romantically towards you, but I think that you might be the one. I think that you might be that right partner, hearing that I was promised. So it feels like it's something where they are like in this belief, rightfully so, that it's like if they become that vibrational match for what they're seeking, then the universe has no choice but to deliver that to them. They have done their due diligence to, raise their standards, raise their vibration, actively live a life on a regular basis that equates with their vision of sort of like what their best life would be, or a successful life, or a deeply satisfying life, to live a good life. And so they've been very selective in terms of like potential people to sort of share that life with. They've been very selective in terms of like the dating pool or who they've been getting to know. This is somebody that has been kind of keeping their options open, it feels like, for a while, but there may have already been some exclusivity between the two of you, or they're wanting things to become more exclusive, because they've prayed about this. They've asked God, they've checked in with their spirit team, they've checked in with their angels, they've checked in with their ancestors, they've checked in with themselves, and there's a sense of like all signs are pointing to yes, it's appropriate to move forward with you. It's in their best interest to move forward with you. That you are someone who has already shown to align with this life that they are wanting, or that they've created for themselves. And so to continue to develop a connection with you, things could only get better from here. But it's something that it's almost like they needed to be very certain before they took a next step, or before they opened their heart fully to this, because there's this, I'm hearing I've been wrong before. So it feels like this is something where this person may have most recently dealt with like a karmic partner, a catalyst. I'm hearing a false twin flame, so things like that, the idea of twin flames and soulmates, that may be something that even if this person doesn't like talk about that out loud, they're familiar with that terminology. This may be somebody who thought they were on a twin flame journey, and it turned out that it was just, like a karmic lesson or a karmic person. But they've had this kind of idea or this notion of like a transcendent love, that although it didn't turn out to be the case with like other people they were dealing with or other people from their past, there's a sense of this kind of like renewed hope or interest that you could be that person. Like they've moved through a series of lessons, and so now they're a little more cautious as far as like how they attach labels of that nature to certain things. This person may be very comfortable with the idea of like, okay, we can become exclusive with one another, we can call each other our partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, just whatever like resonates for the two of you. But there's something almost like more that this person wants to attach as far as a label is concerned to this connection, that involves that like deeper level spiritual resonance, that like during total vibrational match. So again, you've checked off a lot of the boxes for this person, but they've kind of been holding back in terms of maybe even revealing their spiritual side to you. You could think that you're like spiritual and this person's just, you know, a muggle. They're just like operating in the 3D, but it feels like for some of you, this person's going to surprise you because it's like, I know more than you think. I'm all about that. I've been down this road before. And that can open the door to like all new levels of interaction with one another, because it's like, okay, finally we've aligned with like that true divine feminine, that true divine masculine, that true counterpart. And so it feels like this person is sort of like getting ready to release that period of being very discerning as far as like not just making their feelings known, or kind of like making things more serious, but it feels like opening up about their spiritual understanding or their conscious recognition of this like spiritual connection between the two of you that transcends the material, that transcends the emotional even. We've got, I've been receiving your telepathic messages. Yeah, so this person may be very psychic, very sensitive, and you might not be aware of that. And it's just something where they've almost been kind of testing that out. Like, is there telepathy between the two of us? Like they say there's telepathy between hearts, and there's a sense of like, I feel that I can almost read between the lines of what you're saying and read into you energetically speaking. I feel that when you speak, my soul answers. Not just my heart resonates, but my soul resonates with you. You know, this person may be like, great, okay, so we can talk about things verbally, but then there's also this kind of intuitive connection between the two of us that they, for some reason, are very satisfied is real. They may have had like a series of tests, things where it was not like they were testing you, but just kind of like, I don't want to sound weird. I don't want to sound crazy for like, yeah, I think we got this telepathy going on. And you're like, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? Or no, I don't acknowledge that as well. And so it's almost like they've dipped their toe in the water. They've kind of tested this situation. They've said certain things or they've done certain things, and it's come up every single time of like, yeah, we are in deep alignment with one another in a way that transcends the material. So this, it feels like, might have been a final confirmation for this person. Not just like, oh, they were holding out for this kind of relationship, but it feels like it's something that has made them very exciting, or very excited about this, like excited for what the future holds between the two of you, because it's like, I didn't think I would find this with anyone. I didn't think maybe it was possible. You know, I hoped for it. I tried to manifest it, but it wasn't showing up, or I thought it was the case with other people and it didn't really turn out to be. And so I kind of just, you know, chalk that up to the realm of fantasy or something that like, you know, maybe it's not possible in the material world. Maybe this is something, you know, too high level, too high vibrational for, you know, people I'm encountering at this time in my life or in modern times, or, you know, somebody that might have even been like, yeah, I bought into a lot of spiritual propaganda, new age propaganda, and a lot of it turned out not to be true. And so I was hopeful, like, hey, I want a partner that, you know, I can have telepathy with. I can have those kind of like deep conversations, and then conversations that transcend words, only it never happened until they met you. And there's a sense of like, you don't just see eye to eye with one another, but this person really feels like your higher selves are communing, your souls are having conversations. When they have reached out to you internally, either you've reached out to them like physically, literally, right at that time. There have been things where they've like spoken to you from their, you know, mind's eye or from that heart space, and there's been like verbal response from you or something that has kind of acknowledged that. It feels like it might even be the elephant in the room where you both might have been testing this, like, I don't know if this is really happening. Is this really real? And all that remains is to just kind of like speak to that out loud. But it feels like this person's been a bit hesitant, like, I don't want to burst the bubble. I don't want to have the magic dissipate, you know, if it's something that we speak about. And so they might not even kind of address that directly, but it feels like they're wanting to start to kind of open up about spirituality, open up about their spiritual understanding, to kind of ease into this place of like, yeah, I want us to be able to acknowledge that part of ourselves, the psychic part of ourselves, the intuitive part of ourselves, the sensitive part of ourselves, in the midst of our mundane and our material relationship. They also say, you really are the best thing that has ever happened to me. So you are, no one holds a candle to you. You are incomparable to anyone that they have met before. Not just because you're a wonderful person, but because of the way that they feel that you align very much with certain beliefs that they have that they don't really share with others, or that they haven't really found anyone that kind of like can understand those sort of things, is open to those sort of things. Definitely if you've mentioned anything about spirituality, or if it's just kind of apparent in the way that you carry yourself, the things that you focus on, books that you have around your house, like podcasts you listen to, things that you post on social media, something where it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, hey, this is somebody into spirituality. Like, even if it's very surface level in that sense, this person is just delighted that it's like, okay, this is what I've been looking for. Not just a deep romantic connection, but like a spiritual connection with someone. We can explore all kinds of things. I can be free to share my ideas, share my beliefs, share certain experiences that I've had in my life or spiritually that other people in my life can't understand. That there has never been a place in a romantic connection for like talking about these things or having that understanding or building in a romantic capacity towards something that aligns with the material, the emotional, and the spiritual. They also say, you gave me that spark. Yeah, so this person may be thinking to themselves, I found my twin flame. I thought I found them before, but no, I found them, and it is you. You have definitely sparked this person's, interest in you. They're very intrigued as far as like, okay, if we start to bring more of that conscious awareness of this spiritual connection to the table, what does that look like? The nature of the interactions between the two of us. This is somebody that wants to, it feels like, attach titles to this, like, my divine feminine, my queen, my counterpart, my other half, the yin to my yang, things like that. Whatever labels of that sort kind of like resonate with you, something that would almost be kind of construed as like pet names, but that point towards this like higher divine connection between you. Maybe these are things this person has already mentioned, they've already suggested, they've already called you these things, and this isn't accidental. That's a form of this person like dipping their toe in the water and like, hey, can you pick up what I'm laying down here? Are you getting this? Are you resonating with this? Is this something, do you feel the same way too? And so it feels like you're like right at the precipice or right at the brink of that elephant in the room being addressed. This person is very enthusiastic that it's like, okay, we've traveled a long way in both our lives to come to this point in time where now we have this opportunity to experience something that is very transcendent with one another. Yeah, we also have, I know you're my twin flame. So this person at the very least considers you to be their soulmate. For most of you, this is somebody that's like, they consider that they found the one when it comes to you. This is somebody that wants to work to overcome any challenges or obstacles or, just differences between the two of you, maybe spiritual differences, material differences, anything as far as like distance is concerned. It feels like this is not a circumstance where there are third-party situations in the mix, but there may just be other things like the time that you've been together or getting to know one another, obstacles in both of your lives that would need to be just sort of figured out, or time itself would kind of bring you to a place of like, okay, this chapter of both our lives is complete. Now we can move forward together. This is a connection that it feels like this person really wants to hold on to you. They really want to hold on to this. They want to work with you. They want to partner with you. They want to work in tandem to hold space for one another, for the two of you to really prosper in life in general. They feel like the best version of themselves when they are with you. You fit in with their wildest dreams as far as like manifesting a perfect person, relatively speaking. You are somebody that fits into that category. You're somebody that it's like, yeah, I think together we couldn't just have like a satisfying relationship, but it's a relationship in which we could each grow as people. We could each prosper. We could each, be celebrated for like all that we are. They also say, I'm so attracted to you. You don't know what you do to me. So it's getting harder and harder for this person to like contain this truth, contain this kind of excitement that they have of like, I think I found my spiritual companion. I think I found the person that out of all the people in the world is made just for me. Somebody that aligns with who I am, what I'm feeling inside, energetically, what I'm wanting for my future. They see the two of you as like, you're either a power couple now, or you have the ability to become that with one another. So this is not somebody that needs more time to think. They don't need to check in more with, the spirit team or with God or the universe or the ancestors. They've gotten all these signs, and it feels like Their spirit team might even be a little impatient, like, come on, dude, just do something. Just, you've gotten all the confirmations. How many more signs do you need? How many more indicators do you need that, like, yeah, this is the right connection. This is the right person. This is not a lesson. This is not a trick. We promise you. Like, just put one foot in front of the other. Open up. And it feels like that energy of, like, put one foot in front of the other. It's just opening up about, like, I feel a deep spiritual connection with you. And that might make them feel a little bit shy almost, because there's a sense like, yeah, I think you resonate with that idea, but what if you don't? What if you look at me like, what are you talking about? That makes absolutely no sense. But this is somebody that's like, I got to take that risk. I got to open up. I can't just keep that as a very internal or personal truth. We also have, I'm feeling the consequences of my choices and actions. So they feel a little bit guilty for testing this connection, for sort of like, okay, I think that we have telepathy going on, so let me just test this out. And it's like they've been satisfied with the results of that test, but they keep testing. Or the fact that they're like, I felt this kind of resonance with you beyond the material, but I wanted to make sure that my logical brain was satisfied before I just surrendered and gave into this. So there's a sense that they want to make up for that in terms of a level of like sensual devotion, emotional devotion, energetic devotion to you, that it's like once this layer of understanding is brought into your dynamic with one another in an open and honest way, it's like, I don't want us to keep that hidden from one another. I don't want us to hold back. I don't want us to, sort of feel that it's not okay to talk about these things or to acknowledge those things or recognize those things. This person feels that like an experience of transcendence is possible with you. Like it's already happened with you, but there's a sense of like, if we just get this out into the open, the sky opens up and there's like a whole new world that we are able to ascend into, through your sexual encounters with one another, through your conversations, through eye contact, through whatever it is that they want to build with you as far as a life and a future is concerned. And we also have, you influence me in ways no one ever has. Yeah, so you have like awakened this person. This person was awake, or they thought they were awake, and it's like now they know what it means to be awake. Now they know what it means to connect with that holy other, that person that is like the other half, that is that vibrational match, that is of that resonant frequency, not just for what they're seeking in like a fantasy sort of way, or in a delusion or an idealized fashion, but it's like you are the earthly embodiment of that very high frequency, that high vibrational love in human form. This person may think of you as an earth angel. They may think of themselves as an earth angel, and it's like, great, okay, I've connected with my other half. Now let's move forth and have this very divine union, this very divine experience in the here and now together. We also have, I love you. Yeah, so this person wants to do more than just say I love you. This is somebody who wants to demonstrate and explore and experience different levels of love that might not have been possible, accessible for either of you with other partners, things that you haven't, had with one another so far. This is somebody that wants to be very open with you, very energetically open, very emotionally open, very intellectually open with you. They love the time they spend with you. They love the experience of having you in their life. This is somebody that will do anything to hold on to this connection, to evolve with you, to be patient with this process of like two souls merging into one, to kind of like move forward into a better tomorrow is sort of the energy coming through with this. But other than kind of like in a very sort of poetic or almost kind of dreamy sort of way, this is somebody that wants to anchor in that kind of dreamy frequency in the here and now, in terms of like better experiences, in terms of your material exchanges with one another, from a more conscientious place inside than you've ever had with previous partners, because they see that you're operating on the same frequency, you're seeing things eye to eye, and so they want to kind of bring that to the forefront of your interactions, so that the next step forward comes from a very conscientious and spiritually based place with one another. So, those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.